Hey mamas, it's February. And when I think of February, I think of love. And when I think of love, I think of relationships. So today's episode is dedicated to all you moms out there that recently discovered that their teenage daughter had discovered or is taking this journey of first love, complete with kisses. It's a pivotal moment in both their lives, but mamas, it can sometimes leave us feeling blindsided and yes, even a tad betrayed that our daughters didn't confide in us. But don't worry, because today we're going to explore 3 lessons to help navigate this delicate situation and fostering trust and understanding along the way as your daughter starts to explore boys. I know you're not ready for this, but I'm going to do my best to get you ready. I know you are frustrated and confused about how to even approach your girl without having any backlash or somehow causing any offense. You simply want to know more about her because for some reason you don't feel as connected to her anymore. She talks less, not like how she used to, and you just wish things were different between the two of you. You want to know whether or not things are going okay with her. She just won't share with you, and you just don't know why. You've tried everything, but it was so hard to connect with her. I want you to know that there is still hope, Mama. You are not alone. I want you to stop feeling frustrated with your current situation, and I want you to start equipping yourself with solutions to help you reconnect with your teenage daughter. I'm going to help you understand the changes happening in your girl, how you can shift your role in this new season in teenhood, and how your relationship will flourish again by creating a space where your girl will be talking to you. Yes, your girl will be talking to you. Talk to Your Teen Girl framework is a 30-day journey that will get you creating open communication with your teenage daughter. She'll come to you even if she's scared, even if it's something hard to talk about. She'll come to you. I want you to head on over to talktoyourteengirl.com right now and let's get started together. Are you ready? Hey mama, welcome to Raising Her Confidently. Do you want to have open communication with your teen daughter? Do you find yourself constantly thinking about how to talk to your teen or why your girl is not opening up to you? Do you wake up with confident intentions only to feel confused and frustrated when all you get are one-word answers from your daughter again? Hey, I'm Jeannie. I too was a mom raising young teens. I too felt grieved by the loss of my sweet, talkative little girl. I wanted her to come to me about anything, even if she was scared, and listen to my advice. But I kept thinking, she won't listen to me, and I don't know how to approach her until I found tools to create open communication. In this podcast, you will find how to connect and talk to your teen and create a safe space for her to go to so that you will have that close relationship you dreamed of. Go grab your glass of Merlot and throw off those fuzzy slippers and let's dig in together. If you're like me, you have this ideal image of sharing the joy of first love with your girl. She would be of appropriate age. She would share in excitement, the giddiness she feels for a boy who has caught her eye, and better yet, the boy reciprocates with interests in her, and you get to hear all about it. You imagine her seeking your advice on when and how to have her first kiss. Okay, maybe that's just me. But, however, your expectations were shattered when met with news about a boy, a kiss. Oh, and you heard it from someone else and had to confront your daughter about it. Maybe this is you, or maybe if you had the situation, it brings back memories. Maybe you're experiencing it now, or maybe you're dreading that day. But Mom, I want to rest assured. This was kind of my story as a teen. I recall this moment so vividly. It's funny. I'm 50 years old, and I remember this moment so vividly. I was 13 years old. I was hanging out at my best friend's house, and my boyfriend at the time, yes, the gang member boyfriend that I have shared about most frequently, came to visit too. He came to the house to visit me. We went off for a walk in the neighborhood, and little did I know my mom was driving over to come and pick me up. Well, we didn't have cell phones back then. All we had was our watches And we had to keep track of the time because when we were told they were going to come by to pick us up, they would pick us up at that time. So back to the story. As she was driving to my best friend's house, she happened to see me with my boyfriend kissing off on the side of the street. Yes! She saw me with my boyfriend kissing on the side of the street. That was not my finest moment, looking hindsight. Being a mama who had raised teens, I could only imagine what she was thinking. The shock and disappointment in my mom's face as she just found out the news that I had a boyfriend and she witnessed my kiss with him. Not quite what my mom was hoping for in her 13-year-old daughter. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, Mama, and listening like, oh my gosh, 13. I can pretty much be sure that she had some expectations of experiencing shared talks about boys and everything that came along with it, like dating and kissing, but didn't expect to have it until later, and I was much older. There are many lessons we can learn from this story I just shared. Today, I'm going to share 3 I would have given my mom at the time. Lesson 1, acknowledge your feelings, Mama. I know my mom shoved those feelings right down, her feelings of betrayal, of shock. It's crucial to acknowledge your own feelings of betrayal. It's okay to feel hurt or left out when your daughter doesn't even share these significant milestones with you, let alone having it so early, right? But remember, this isn't a reflection of your relationship or your parenting skills. She's a teenager. I was a teenager. Adolescence is a tumultuous time, and sometimes our daughters may feel more comfortable confiding in their friends or handling things on their own, like I did. Take a moment to process your emotions, but try not to let them overshadow these next lessons I'm going to share with you. Along with acknowledging your feelings, acknowledge her feelings as well. As much as you disagree, as much as you're disappointed, acknowledge her feelings too. She is a teenager exploring what it's like to be independent. She has these hormones that she's going to act upon. And being such a young age at 13, you might be experiencing it as well. Maybe you're a 12-year-old where it came to shock that you didn't expect to have her experience first love, in quotations, or even kissing, right? And so these feelings of betrayal and anger are within you. So acknowledge your feelings, but also acknowledge her feelings, which leads to lesson 2. Shift your perspective. Now, let's shift our perspective, your perspective. Instead of solely focusing on feeling betrayed, consider this an opportunity to open up dialogue with your daughter about relationships, even if you feel like it's not an appropriate age. She's already done it. She's already in it. So what are you going to do about it, right? Open up a dialogue where your daughter can talk about our relationships and talk to your teen girl framework. We talk about creating a safe space for her to open up. And that's going to take some trust building. It's going to be a lot of you stepping forward, a lot of you making a lot of space to listen, as uncomfortable as it may be. This might be an uncomfortable conversation you're going to have with her because you in your heart know she's not yet ready, or you feel betrayed because she hasn't shared it with you. But be willing to shift your perspective and open up dialogue. Approach the situation with curiosity rather than judgment. Think back to your own teenage years and recall how confusing, how complex those emotions can be, and how impulsive, maybe you, I know I did, impulsive, you can react to them because they're so extreme. You feel like you're in love and that this has to be the person. At 13 years old, I knew this was the person I was going to marry, right? Your daughter is experiencing those same feelings now, and she needs your guidance more than ever. And by approaching the situation with empathy and understanding, because you've been there, you've experienced first love, right? No matter your age, but I'm sure you did as a teenager. You're laying the groundwork for a stronger and more trusting relationship. Instead of pulling back and, causing distance by judging her, lean in and be more open and curious, which leads to lesson number 3, right? So going back to that shift your perspective, my mom, one of the things I remember she said, and this was a reactive response based on the shock that she just realized I had a boyfriend and she saw me kissing him and that I was 13. That she had said, "What do you know about love? You're not in love with him." And as true as that statement is, because hindsight, yeah, at 13, I probably don't know what love is and being in love. But in that moment, I felt like it was real. And that was a very judgmental statement she had made. And although she made it to protect me, it caused this division between me and her and kind of closed the door on open conversation and dialogue about relationships. She didn't earn my trust in talking about relationships until years later when I was 16 going on 17, where I opened up about a relationship. Okay. So regardless of the age, even if you think it's too early, be willing to shift your perspective and have that open dialogue out of curiosity. Lesson 3, foster open communication, right? No big surprise. I'm going to give you that advice. Open communication. And I know it's what you desire. And I know it's what you want to gain that connection, to have healthy relationships and start, if you're in the tween stage and have an 11 or 12-year-old daughter, to start having those open conversations so you won't be like my mom and be shocked and find your daughter, kissing somebody on the street. Or if you have already experienced that, it's not too late, mama, right? Lesson number 1, acknowledge your feelings of betrayal. But lesson number 3, be willing to start from where you're at now and foster the open communication that Talk to Your Teen Girl framework was written for. Frankly, sometimes I know moms, like my mom, had a hard time even understanding what that meant in this teen stage, right? Girls especially are very complex in their emotions, right? They're hot and cold. I have boys and I have a daughter, and I would have to say, raising both of them through the early tween stage, that my daughter is much more complex to understand. And there are a lot of gaps where I can assume what she means or assume what she's thinking. But open communication was vital between the two of us, right? It's the foundation of our relationship, right? And that is why I feel Talk to Your Teen Girl framework is so vital for moms to take so that they can equip and understand and know, confidently how to bridge that gap of communication that happens between childhood and teenhood, right? So with open communication with your daughter, you want to encourage her to talk to you about her experiences, both good and the challenging ones. Relationships with others is super complex, let alone relationship and understanding herself, right? So create a safe space where she feels comfortable sharing her thoughts and concerns without fear of judgment. Remember, building trust is a two-way street, right? Share your own experiences and vulnerabilities with her, demonstrating that you're there to support her every step of the way, even if you don't agree with her. Even if you don't agree with her, you're showing her how much you love her unconditionally. And you're building that trust that you so need in order for her to communicate back with you. By fostering a culture of openness and honesty, quite frankly, I tell my kids this: I rather know the truth and and feel like I don't want to hear it, then you just tell me what you want me to hear. I'd rather hear the truth, and we can work with that, right? So by fostering a culture of this openness and honesty, you'll strengthen your bond and also empower your daughter to navigate these complex relationships that she's going to be going through, whether it be friendships or dating or having a boyfriend, with confidence, right? There you have it, mamas. 3 lessons to help you navigate this roller coaster of emotions that come with discovering your teenage daughter's first boyfriend and kiss. This is for you, mama. This is for you. Acknowledge your feelings, shift your perspective, and foster open communication. These can turn into valuable opportunities for growth and connection when you share your empathy and understanding of what she is going through. It'll help her remember that you were once a teen girl like her. Mama, if you need more help and you feel like, I think the next step is going to be learning how to create open communication with my girl and talk about these hard issues like relationships, because I know you want to talk about it with her. You want to be the one to guide her through a relationship because you've been there. You've done that, and be able to walk her through the stages of dating, right? And falling in love and being in love and sharing that type of relationship, right? And walking her through this. I know you got this. And if that's you, Talk to Your Teen Girl framework is your next step. If you want to know more details about that, go to talktoyourteengirl.com. Till next time. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you or encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd love for you to share it. You can screenshot this episode and share it in your stories on social media or text it to a friend who can use the support. It's the best way you can thank me. I want to let other mamas know they are not alone. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can find me on Instagram at Jeannie Baldemero or join my free mom support community at Linktree/Jeannie Baldemero. Until next time, live full of grace, Jeannie.